we're in my powder bathroom, although it's a full bathroom. I mean, that's an ugly bathtub, but it's there. And we're in the country, and we're about to undertake a particularly ambitious DIY project. The plan is I'm gonna pull up this like jacked up vinyl tile that's on the floor. I'm going to install radiant heat throughout this bathroom because it has no heat source of its own. And then I'm going to tile this bathroom floor. And funnily enough, we're gonna try and do all of that in just 2 days. So it's gonna be a nightmare, but we're gonna do it and it's gonna be great. Everything's good. We're like back down to our particle board, which is like surprisingly level. It's all like pretty flat and consistent. So I think we're just gonna get right to it. We lay down the radiant heat. They like come in sort of like rolls, and you lay that down. And then we're just gonna start tiling like we know what we're doing. What? Okay, so we've laid out our radiant heating pad, and basically what I've done is I bought one that was 48 inches wide by 30 inches long, or 48 inches long by 30 inches wide. Anyway, and the way that it works is you can cut it kind of to shape. You just have to keep the wire intact, but you can like make it pivot 90 degrees or 180. You can actually pivot it a lot without losing that contact. So I've cut it into 2 pieces so that this area is going to be underfoot when you're standing at the sink, and also is going to help keep this bathroom and the plumbing warm near the sink. And then the other area is going to be here in front of the toilet, so that when you're actually sitting on the toilet, you're going to have nice warm feet. So I'm going to take this, essentially now that it's laid the way I want it to be laid, I peel the back off and then you just stick it down. So basically, now that we have the radiant heat pad down, what I did is I just laid out the tile to make triple sure that we had enough tile and to really understand how the pattern was going to manifest. If you're doing a bigger tile, this is way more important because you have to figure out where you're going to actually have tiles that need to be cut. You have to figure out where you're going to work around like the different details. Because we're using these teeny tiny tiles, it's a lot easier. Basically, you just start on one side and work your way across. It's a lot less complicated. Don't forget, when you're doing this, you need to have an exit strategy. If you tile from here to there, you're gonna have to launch yourself out the door. So you start in the back corner and work your way out. So now we know that we have enough tile, we know how it's gonna lay out. So now I'm gonna make up the thin set. We're gonna lay the coat of thin set. You like kind of trowel it across, I'll show you how. And then we start laying tile. Crazy, right? Okay, so I've got my cold water in my bucket. Now I'm going to make an epic mess in my kitchen. Basically what we do now, we've got our thin set, we've let it sit. You let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes so that it starts to sort of coagulate a little bit. And then essentially I'm gonna lay it out. You work in like 3-foot sections, which in this bathroom is not particularly hard because it's like 6 feet total. So I'm gonna work in a section, lay some tile, work in a section, lay some tile, work my way out. And then every once in a while I'm gonna check with my level to make sure I'm actually coming in flat, because you want your floor to be nice and flat. So I'm gonna lay some tile, check. Lay some tile, check, so that this doesn't end up like one crazy ski slope from start to finish. Fingers crossed. Essentially, like as you go, you just want to like follow up, wipe off any thin set that's getting on your tile. Okay, so we're almost there. We have like probably 3 or 4 more tiles to go. And then it just has to sit, and it has to sit overnight. The thin set has to dry, it has to set. And then tomorrow morning we come back, well, probably tomorrow afternoon, and we're gonna smooth a layer of grout over all of the joints. Then we will wipe that off basically, and then it's finished. I think we might get this done in 2 days. Crazy. Okay. We're basically to the point now, we got the tile down, thin set's dry, it's time to grout. So I've got this, this is grout that I mixed up myself. And basically I take this thing is called a float, and you smear it over all of the joints, making sure you really get down into the individual sort of cracks between each of the tiles. And then after I get it portion done, then I wipe it off with a sponge. I wipe all the excess off, and then I move on to the next bit. So it'll be like float, float, wipe, float, float, wipe, float, float, wipe. The floor is finished. The grout has dried. The floor is set. The radiant heat is not on yet. You actually have to wait a few days before you turn it on. That's the deal. It also has to be hardwired, so that's the deal. But hopefully the next time I get up here, we're gonna be able to hardwire it, turn it on, and just toast our little tootsies. This is a huge success. What a rad DIY. All right, so thank you for joining us for this DIY. Don't forget to tune into all our other DIY episodes, our vlogs, our there it goes, our all the things. We're doing all the things. Tune in. Thanks.